Okay, if not, let's carry on. I always like to do this. I always like to summarize something. Remember, organic chem, what's the problem? We know the marks are there. We know it's one single topic. Problem is everything connected. And we are lazy. Keyword, like it or not, teenagers, I'll just go straight to the point. I was a teenager before, right? We are lazy. We know it's important. We are lazy to go back and take a look again with all the notes. But you know what? You have to. But we don't have the time to run through line by line with you. So you should have received the technical notes, which is this set of materials, which I'm going to use it to have a great recap. And if you talk to any organic chemists, real chemists are not your school teacher, but by right, your school teacher should know to do an organic chem. It's not doing more questions. It's your basic of the key concepts and the keywords are so good that I give you anything you never see before, you dare to play. Keyword, you dare to play. Because once you dare to play, you have a chance of getting it right. All right. So, but the problem is what? The problem is people don't want to run through the notes. So today I'm going to run through the notes with you in very briefly, because organic chemists will tell you, you need to know your basic well before you start to take a look at the question. Don't look at any question until you run through your notes 2 to 3 times. They always tell you that, right? Once you run through 2-3 times, you know about 80-90% of what's it inside. Then you take your questions out. Then you whack the questions. You don't wait, right? And you keep applying. That's what you say. Now, but before this, just like the recent sparring workshop for physical chemistry, I actually did an overview with everyone, and this is what I want to do. Not even into these flowcharts. This flowchart is my flowchart. All right. You can draw your own. All right. I would like to do this. Again, this is mine whiteboard. So I'm going to draw I won't even call this mind map. It's just if you in Starbucks or you in McDonald's, since I don't go Starbucks, maybe local coffee shops, all right? Sweaty and warm and humid. And ask me, hey, Sean, yeah, chemistry tutor, is it? Your chemistry TYS author, is it? I say, yeah, invited to write. So I just write, okay? Let's say exam coming, organic chem, but I got no motivation to study. Can you tell me H2 organic chem, what is it about? Very troublesome, very big at this topic. I say, oh, okay. Take paper, rough paper, got 2 pens, bring it out, all right? So this is what I'm going to do. So if you think this is useful, once again, you can take a snapshot at the end of it, or you can copy down as we move, but you have to be fast. Or this session, once again, are all recorded, and you'll be available by the next day. All right, give my admin some sleeping time, don't mind. By tomorrow afternoon, it should be up. All right, and then you can rewatch all this again. And my suggestion, don't waste this. All right, here we go. H2 organic chem, right? Without further ado, let me just draw it here. Right? A small one. All right. So let's just take about 5 to 10 minutes here, maybe about 15. All right. H2 organic. What am I writing? H2 organic chemistry. Let's focus. H2 organic chemistry. All right. So what is it about, if you ask me? Let's recap. From the start to the end, all right, in your school, you spend 6 months. In my classes, you spend 8 months together on organic chemistry. What are we really learning over here? So if you look at it, I'll just bring you one big loop, all right? And I think we start by learning this. I think we start by learning what is the functional groups, which is what we learned in Sec 4, all right? But last year was a common last topic. Last year is not a problem. You're okay, I think. Functional groups, which are based on homologous series, right? Basically, homologous series, most of them, except alkanes, have functional groups. That's the first thing we say, okay, that's boring and nobody cares. All right. Then after which, we go and learn about formulas. If you remember, formulas, right? Plural should be with E, right? So how many types of formula you need to know, and all of them will be tested if they ask you. So if the follow question, I think there are 5 of them. They ask you what is the molecular formula. They ask you what is the empirical formula, which is nothing, it's called simplest formula. They ask you what is the structural formula. All right, structural formula. They ask you what is the displayed formula. And they ask you what is a skeletal formula. I believe these are the 5 types of formula they will ask. So basically, I'm just thinking of, hey, this whole organic chem, what is it about? And I think it's one big round like that. All right, so I need to know all this. If I don't know, I quickly revise. So this is what you do the night or a few days before your papers. And every paper, I need to run through this one more time. Inevitable, right? So these are type of the formula. Then after which we also learn from there, hey, organic, there is a lot of reaction. So we learn about what are the types of reaction over here. And if you look at it, there are two types, or rather, there are a lot of reaction, but we can classify them, all right, like PSLE science. We classify them based on two types of reaction, all right, on how you look at it. First is what we call on, let me use a different color, based on who is the attacking species. Remember? Who is the attacking species, i.e. the reagent that you add, because based on that, I will then say, hey, we can probably say it's nucleophilic kind of reaction or electrophilic kind of reaction. All right, so when you have your J2 already, right? You finish all the syllabus. So when you have reactions, there's nucleophilic or electrophilic, all right? Addition, substitution, all this. It was based on the attacking species, all this one. And all these are important as a basic why. Because yes, you learn in 6 months, you learn about 13 to 16 topics of all the homologous series, all the reaction. Yes, but you and I know in exam, there will always be that one question, it's called the NOVL, NOVA, right? NOVA, the new kind of reaction that you never see before. So what? But it's still based on all these basic stuff that you learn. All right. So you need to identify, is it nucleophilic or electrophilic? All right. So they're new. Okay. And what else? Besides this, then there's another one is whereby it's based on what are the final product that you get. So you look at the reactants and look at the final products you get. What did you see from the reactants to the product? All right. The transition. So I believe over here, it's okay. Maybe I put a 2 here and oops, yeah, I think it's okay. And I put I think there's 7 if I'm not wrong. There's 7 reactions over here. So a chemical reaction in organic, all right? We can call it what? We can call it once again, 7 of them. We can call it addition reaction. All right, we can go, it's quite a big one. Everyone has a rough paper or foolscap paper, right? Anyway, you're supposed to write this on your own. You don't copy mine and then say, okay, this is good. All right, you just build on it. Substitution, addition, substitution. There's 7, I remember. So I keep counting. Hydrolysis. What else? 3 already, right? I got 4 more to go. Whoa. Condensation. Elimination. Oxidation and reduction. So yeah, you were saying, so boring, this one just copy. Yeah, you know, I never asked you to copy it. I didn't. I'm challenging you as I write. Do you have an example in your mind? Do you? If you don't have, it means you don't know much. So time to revise. That's the purpose of this workshop. Okay? It's not copy this English word. Who don't know this English word? My 4-year son can write for you. Trust me. It's not. It's as I write, do you have an example? Oh, I think something like that is like condensation and it's different from elimination because the example in my mind was another one. In hydrolysis was another one. Do you know? All right? So that's my challenge to you. Because in the exam, you're going to run through this, isn't it? On your, you look at the questions, is it hydrolysis? Is it elimination? Is it condensation? Don't you realize they all look about the same? Yes. So you need to decide. So you need to be able to identify. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is a type of reaction. All right. What else we learned over here? Then obviously your good old friend, your reaction mechanism, right? Reaction mechanism. All right. So all this was taught in the intro. So what is reaction mechanism? Reaction mechanism is about using curly arrows, right? So the curly arrows either is a full arrow or meaning slash, right? Is a reversible or partial, sorry, not reversible, but partial arrow key, right? That's what you learn. All right, so reaction mechanism. So how many reaction mechanism do you know? All right, by and large, you only learn 5. In your syllabus, you need to know 5. It's called FRS, free radical sub. Then the rest are your N and your E, right? Your N sub, your N add, nucleophilic substitution, nucleophilic addition, your electrophilic substitution, and your electrophilic addition. These are the standard 5. So again, my challenge to you is Do you know they belong to which topic? They belong to which homologous series? And how many steps is it? Do you know what you're going to do? All right. Because all these will come out if you want to come out. And these are standard. All right. Reaction mechanism usually 3 marks. All right. So here we go. So you need to know this. What else? I think you need to know something called isomerism. Huge. All right, isomerism, isn't it? And there are 2 types of isomerism, by right, broadly, right? It's called structural isomerism or stereoisomerism. Make sense? Very easy. All right. So today, once again, day 1 is setting the stage. Because when we have another 5 days, which is second day tomorrow and so on and so forth, I will not be coming here and say, okay, Mr. Chua, why can't it's nucleophilic addition? I say, I'll answer a bit. All right, then I'll say, okay, come back to all this. All right, take a look again. All right. So today is setting the stage. Very important. All right. Same thing. You're doing questions of your own, you're supposed to revise all these before you do question. If not, look at the question for what? Half of the question can't do. You forget this, forget that. Then you memorize. You can flip. Oh, that's the answer. You feel happy. Yeah, you're happy today. Tomorrow I give you the same question, you cannot do. Right? Because you're reading. Right? You didn't internalize it. You did not appreciate it. You just want the answer. You don't understand why. All right. So structural, how many types are there? Once again, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Structural, there are 3. It's called chain isomerism, positional isomerism. Chain, can't pronounce. It's either straight chain or branch chain, right? Straight or branch. Positional means the functional group is at different position, right? So they look differently, the name will be different, they're isomers. Last is when they have functional group isomerism. The molecular formula is same, but the functional group is different. All right, so we call them structural isomers also, isomerism also. Stereo is when we have all this, you should know, geometric isomerism. Geometric also known as cistrons, so a bracket means the same, another word for it. Or optical isomerism, stereo can be optical, also known as enantiomerism. Because recently I have a new J2 student who in my class asked me through WhatsApp, Mr. Shaw, what is the difference between optical and enantiomerism? I was shaking my head. I say, can you revise the notes? I tell you first. But immediately finish this WhatsApp. Can you go and revise and respond to me within 20 minutes? Right? Enantiomerism. They are the same. Okay, a bit squeezy, I don't mind. All right, so isomerism, you need to know. Then what else? So you realize whatever we discussed till now, right? That 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 arrows was in topic 1, the introductory topic. And as you move from topic 2, which is alkanes, all the way to the last one, which is amino acids and proteins, you'll see the remaining few. Okay, so maybe I use a different color. Yes, I use blue. So as you move, you will start to have this type of question coming up. All right, what is it? You're going to be asked on what are the physical properties of organic compound. If you check your organic chem notes from chapter 2 to the last chapter, by right, your school should also be like this, which is similar to my notes. The first few pages always talk about the functional group and after that, physical properties. All right. So physical properties for organic chem, which are small molecular structures, simple molecular structures. What do we talk about? You must agree with me, it has always been melting point and boiling point, as well as the solubility. Has always been these two. Can they dissolve in water? Can they dissolve in organic solvent? Polar solvent, non-polar solvent. Always. So in the question, always also. This is our question very famous where? Paper 3, remember? Paper 3. They ask you a question, then ask you keep writing. Right? All right, we see them always in paper 3. Physical properties. So again, all these are based on what the physical properties. All right, they are molecules. So it has to do with intermolecular forces between molecules, between the small molecules, which means, ladies and gentlemen, this is linked to your bonding topic, bonding. In case till now you do not appreciate or you still deny it, I'm sorry to let you know it is a fact. please run through your bonding. It will affect organic chem. It's a fact. All right. Yeah, running out of space, but it's okay. And what else? From topic 2 to the last topic. Not all topics, but some topics will then ask you about acid-base property, or rather acidity. Two compounds, which compound is more acidic, which is less acidic, explain. If you have taken a look at your 10-year series, paper 3, once again, take a look at the hit rate. Huge. It always come out, and you're supposed to get full marks for it. Because it's so easy, you can memorize all the keywords. Come out, just change a bit, then whack. All right, just vomit it out. So acidity, basicity, if it's an alkaline or it's a base. And don't forget, you have this word called the hydrolysis. Some of them hydrolyze. All right. So these 3 are standard questions. You want to get full marks, you need full marks. All right, because you can get them. It's not difficult. All right. So once again, the last one, which is almost everything here in organic chemistry, is about the chemical properties. Chemical properties, all right? Which every set of notes you have, this is 4/5 of the whole set. Chemical properties, what's there? You say, boring. Yeah, I know, but I'm going to challenge you. Every one of them, can you write out the balance equation? Did you remember them? Beside the state symbols. Let me just write balance equation. And obviously, did you manage to remember? So this one I can't help you, right? We can only make sure that you have a bit more exposure and remember them, but you have to sit down and remember reagents and conditions. Actually, all this one, I disagree on this. I disagree that you all should be tested on reagent conditions. Since my time, I think it's very... Go Google what? Why ask me to memorize? I think all this should be in data booklet, if you ask me, all right? So if I have a chance to talk to the Minister of Education, which the previous one I managed to talk to in one secondary school, because I went back as a school advisory committee member. So I was with the principal. So he catch up, introduce, and say, okay, hi, have chit chat. So I say a bit on the education stuff, but yeah, if I have a chance, I want to tell them, hey, this one, memorize one. Our students don't memorize one. They go Google. Why ask them memorize? This one should be in data booklet. Agree, everyone? Just take and then answer the question. You go to work, you also have to memorize all these. Being a chemist, I don't memorize all this, but no choice. All right, they want you to memorize. They want you to put in some hard work to memorize. Now, so you say, okay, chemical properties, so what? It's all over the place. Mr. Chua, what's the real thing? So I'm going to ask you, do you know all these covalence equation and reagents conditions? You know, you appreciate and you memorize. What kind of questions you'd use them? I hope you agree. From what I can recall, I think you only use them 3 ways. There are only 3 types of questions, which you might agree. And all 3 needs this. Number 1, obviously, to look at 2 compounds with different functional group, i.e. called distinguishing test. So distinguishing test, all right, how to distinguish between 2 organic compounds. Next is we will ask you, hey, this is a reactant called ethene. I want to form, say, I don't know what you want. Propanamide, right, and amide. So what is that? The kind of question is called the reaction schemes, right? You plan your schemes out. So all these will be discussing them in the questions I prepared for you. All right. And last but not least, your favorite. And this is the one in paper 3 that you all hate, which I always tell my students there are marks there and it's not that difficult one. All right. It's just that you need the time to think. All right. And you don't panic. You cannot rush. Your structure elucidation. Marks are usually between 6 to 20. It could be a structure elucidation break into 2 parts, 20 marks. I've seen before. Structure elucidations. Kind of question. All right, so you ask me by and large, plus, minus, right? All right, broad base, take a paper, rough paper, scribble. If you ask me, I think this is H2 organic chem. What do I mean? I mean, if you take a TYS book out once again, and you, let's say you use the topical, or the organic chem, right, which is close to half of it. Let's say it's the organic book, right? I mean the topical book. This is yearly, obviously. So look at it, I will say, look at it. These are all the things they ask you. All right. In case you say, Mr. Chua, no, yesterday the prelim, that last week the prelim got that 1 mark question, 2 marks there, not like that one. I said, okay lah. That 1, 2 marks can lose or not? Can forget about it. Still get A mark. What's the issue with that 1, 2 marks? Ask yourself, can you get the minimum to get an A first before you question us? That question is very difficult. How to do? I said, why bother? Because you ask your lecturer, you ask me, I sometimes can't do also. Your lecturer cannot do also, trust me. He'll say, I'll get back to you. Isn't it? You can't do it live also because it's so difficult. And it may not be on the actual syllabus. It's out of syllabus. Right? So don't bother about that. So, okay, my challenge to you, anything in your syllabus, are you good enough? If yes, all right. So that's what I'm doing. And with that, enough scribbling. Let's go back to the notes, which are typed in for you, easier to follow itself. Everyone can get a thumbs up that it's okay for me to move. Yes.